These are 5 reasons to consider retiring as soon as you can. Let's go for a walk and talk about these reasons, and be sure to stay until the end, because the last one, number 5, is going to surprise you coming from a financial advisor. The first reason to retire as soon as you can is your health. None of us know how long we have. The reality is, for many of us, our jobs don't feel that stressful, but the reality is our jobs are stressful, right? They don't feel that way because we've been doing them so long and we're good at what we do, but there's still stress of deadlines, there's still stress of dealing with people, there's still stress of getting projects done on time, on budget, things like that, dealing with clients, trying to keep everybody happy. There's stress associated with that. And, to the extent we can get rid of that stress in our lives, that can be a really helpful thing and really extend the healthy time that we do have in front of us. So just think about the reduced stress that you could have. I've used the analogy before of the frog in boiling water, where the temperature gets turned up slowly, and the frog doesn't realize that the temperature is being increased. And I think for a lot of us, our work is that way. We don't realize how much stress that we're really under. So that's number 1. Number 2 is time. Most of us have been working a long time. Regular viewers of my channel tend to be pretty good savers. So we've done a good job of saving our money in the past. And there are ways to get more money, but there's no way to get more time. So time is the only non-renewable resource that we have. And at some point we have to look and say, okay, this is the amount that we have to retire, and we're gonna learn to make it work. So I think the trade-off for a lot of us is worthwhile, right? We could always work 10 more years and maybe have double the amount of money in our investment accounts that we have today, if we're fortunate, right? It doesn't take that big of a return to double your investments, right? If you get a little over 7% a year in your investment accounts, over a decade, those investment accounts are going to double if you don't have to touch them, in theory. But at some point, we have to say, enough is enough. This is what I have, and I need to enjoy it. I need to take care of myself. I need to fulfill the promises that I made to my spouse and shared and said, these are our retirement dreams. We want to do this and that. And, the last thing you want to have happen is to have a surprise stroke or a heart attack and not be able to pursue those dreams and maybe never be able to pursue those dreams, right? So time is the limited resource. None of us know how much time we have, but it is limited, right? So probably worth the trade-off of retiring a little bit early and being able to utilize our time. I can tell you, I work with a lot of folks that have retired, and occasionally somebody will say, I wish I hadn't retired early, but it's at least 10 to 1 where people say, I wish I had retired sooner. And once you go through the transition, then you're really glad that you did that. So that's number 2. Number 3 is relationships, right? Relationships, to build relationships is a 4-letter word, what it takes to build relationships, and that is T-I-M-E, time. A lot of us have aging parents. We have adult children, maybe with grandkids, that could really use some of our help with the kids. We don't have to do that, but a lot of us want to do that. Same thing with aging parents, right? It makes their transition into the next stage where they're at in their life a lot easier if they have family helping them. So I know not all of us can do that, but I think if we can, that works out very nicely. It's a nice thing to be able to do. So relationships, and then just building new friendships and having time to invest in existing friends and new friends can really be beneficial. And again, there's ways to make more money. There's not ways to make more time. So that's number 3. Number 4 is time to pursue other passions and hobbies. A lot of us have been busy working hard, the responsibilities of paying off our mortgage, of saving money for our children's college education. A lot of us now are at the phase of our lives where those obligations are behind us, right? One of the things I talk about is trying to pay off your mortgage by the time you're 50 years old, and that gives you a lot of freedom. And so really for the first time in a long time, maybe since we were 18 years old, we have a lot of freedom. We have fewer responsibilities. We can go and we can be a little selfish, and it's okay. I think it's okay to be a little selfish. So that's the other thing with the outside hobbies and pursuits. A lot of people, that means travel. I will share with you that's the most common answer I get when I ask people what they're planning on doing in retiring is travel. But I can also share with you for a lot of people, travel can be tiring, and it can be discombobulating, where it takes you out of your element. And like for me, I like that. For me, that's refreshing. But for a lot of people, that can be stressful. So if traveling is a core part of what you think you want to do in retirement, I would encourage you to think of it almost like an appetizer versus a main dish. It may be a main dish for you. It may be something that you do full time. It may be something that you're more active doing. But for a lot of folks, it ends up being something that, maybe they want to do 10 weeks out of the year, but they don't want to do it 40 weeks out of the year. So having other interests, other hobbies, other organizations that you're interested in helping out, spending time with your grandkids, like we talked earlier, can be a nice use of time as well. So that's number 4, is just developing other pursuits, other passions. Like for me, I love to learn, right? So I've taught myself how to computer program several years ago, got pretty good at it. To the point where I could develop applications for iPhones and web applications, stuff like that. I do a little bit of angel investing on the side in some technology companies, and I just wanted to understand the difference between a technology company that's hard to develop and one that's easier to develop, and then also, really what is the job of a chief technical officer for a startup, and what kind of characteristics lead to somebody being successful in that role versus having challenges. So I'm a lifetime learner. I enjoy learning. I learned Spanish within the last 5 years. That was a big challenge for me. But I just share these as some examples of what I've done. And I think it's important to develop these other passions, things that get you excited to get out of bed and do. Okay. And so the last one is number 5, and this is the one that I said is going to be a little controversial coming from a financial advisor. Number 5 is, for many of us, we're financially ready. It may not feel like we're financially ready. Maybe our goal is to get to X dollars and we have 90% of X dollars. And is it really worth working another 3 years to get to 100% of X? Or, we're humans, we're adaptable. We have certain plans and saying, okay, we're going to spend this much money a year, but, are there things that you could tweak where you could retire sooner and get some of this pressure that we talked about earlier? Are there things you could do that would allow you to pursue these passions, these dreams, get the freedom of retiring sooner and say, you know what, I'm at 90% of goal. That's close enough. I'm not going to keep working in the hopes of getting to 100% or 110%. And, this isn't financial advice for you. We're all different. I don't know your specific situation, but for a lot of folks, if you're close enough, I think it's okay. And for a lot of folks, when you put in the plan, you put in, this is what a tax rate's going to be, and we're going to have money until this age. Well, we don't know what tax rates are going to be in 20 years, and we don't know when our clients are going to pass away. So there's a lot of assumptions there. And when you get close enough, I think you can say, if you feel like it, say, you know what, this is close enough. We're going to make it work. You'll never, there's always a reason to work one more year. In fact, I have a video, the most dangerous disease for people close to retirement, and that's OMY syndrome, one more year. And people say that working one more year helps your retirement plan by 3 years. And there's one additional year that you're not paying for retirement, so that's 1 year of savings. Then there's one additional year that you're putting money into your savings, and it's kind of said tongue in cheek, but the stress of working an extra year will take another year off of your lifespan. So you have one less year that you have to worry about planning. Again, that's kind of tongue in cheek, but just highlights the fact that, you know, we're never really ready to retire. And I think sometimes when we get close enough is good enough. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, give me a thumbs up. It really does help the YouTube algorithm find other viewers that can help. Leave me a comment. I do read the comments. And until next time, I'm Azul, encouraging you to take full advantage of the youth of your senior years. Remember, you're only young once. Let's use this time wisely.